Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to. Well, no, we're back.
Yeah. What up, though?
Put it like that. We are back, folks. Talking sports. FTS is back after a brief hiatus. I am KG Kris Gardner of the Houston Roundball Review, and with me is my man Willy Gibson in Ohio. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, sir. How about yourself?
Doing pretty well. I literally just got back from Houston Cougars men's basketball practice as they went a little bit longer than projected, but that's okay. We're on Coach Kelvin Sampson time, so it's all good. And they get ready for the matchup Monday evening, well, I guess Monday night against Iowa State for first place in the Big 12. Both teams 9-3 in Big 12 play, and of course, Iowa State beat Houston earlier in the season. Cougs' first Big 12 loss, which led to their loss against TCU and caused some folks to panic. What's wrong? What's wrong? No, what's wrong? But then since then, they have won 9 of the next 10, and they're 9-3 in Big 12 play. But first, Corey, how you doing? We're going to talk some Buckeyes.
Yes, sir.
We're going to talk some Buckeyes, and we're going to talk some Cougar basketball, women's style. But first things first, Willy Gibson.
Yep.
Ohio State men's basketball made a change on Wednesday. And that change, I don't know, did that change make the difference today in the win over Purdue?
It did. It did, unfortunately. And that happens, when anytime a change is made, for whatever reason, people play different. For the change, let's discuss that first. I hate it for Chris Holtman. Chris Holtman's a great guy, super nice guy. I have colleagues in the business, and I'm sure you do as well. You don't want to get to know the people you cover. You just want to cover them and let the chips fall where they may. And that may work for some, but, at the end of the day, it's people that have a job. We all have jobs to do. And over the last 7 years, the times I had a chance to interact with Chris Holtman, super nice guy. That being said, it was time for a change, without question. It was inevitable. The change was going to come
during the season, though.
Well, here's where I was getting to that. The change was going to come at the end of the year anyway. I believe, and this is a sources close to me. This is Willy. This is the source close to me.
Mm-hmm.
Me.
Got you. Yeah, got you.
I believe, and he said it was not the case because current athletic director Gene Smith spoke on Wednesday, and he was flat out asked, did you make this decision or was this Ross Bjork? Ross Bjork is the new athletic director on tap to take over as AD on July 1. However, he's on tap on March 1st to become senior consultant to AD Gene Smith.
Okay.
Take that as you will.
Mm-hmm.
Gene was asked, was it his decision or did he consult with Ross Bjork before he made the decision? And Gene emphatically said, I called him and told him what I was going to do. I believe that no one wanted Ross Bjork's first order of business when he came on board to fire. It was to fire Chris Holtman. No one wanted that blood on his hands as the first order of business. So I believe the discussion was made. Hey, Gene, do us a solid. You take care of this. Because Gene then went on to say that Ross Bjork is leading the coaching search as senior consultant to the AD, not as AD. He doesn't become an AD until July 1. Mm-hmm. But he's leading the coaching search, and Gene will assist. But you also didn't before told me that it was your decision alone.
Right.
Okay. But yeah, it was going to happen. It was inevitable. It was going to happen end of the year. But I believe, with 6 games to go, it was a situation where no one wanted the new AD to come in with a machete day one. So it was done now.
Who would you like to see take over?
Interesting. I would like to see Chris Gent, former Buckeye.
Mm-hmm.
Assistant coaching in the NBA right now with the Los Angeles Lakers. I believe twice has held the interim head coaching job. I think once in Houston and once in Orlando. Shooting coach for LeBron James. Has been with LeBron off and on since his early days in Cleveland. Again, former Buckeye, played on the team with Jim Jackson that went to the Final Four in the early 90s.
Remember that? Yep.
knows the program, knows the school, knows the culture, knows the fan base, and I think he has NBA experience, and he knows what it takes to get these guys to the next level. I think it'll be a great hire. East Coast guy, originally from New Jersey. I think it'll be a great hire, but you see various lists. Doug McDermott. Nothing wrong with any of these coaches. Nothing wrong at all. But it's interesting to me that you have these lists. But again, as I just said, Ross Bjork has the decision, and no one knows his thoughts.
Yeah,
he hasn't even started. He doesn't officially start until March 1. So you see Lamont Paris of South Carolina. You see Doug McDermott of Creighton. You see Jay Wright of CBS Sports. Yeah. So, but I would love to see Chris Gent.
Yeah, you mentioned that, and once again, you're watching episode 122 of Folks Talking Sports. We will talk Cougar basketball, but here on this show, we talk sports, not just the Cougars. And Willy Gibson is a Buckeye, a proud alum of the Ohio State. So getting some Big Ten perspective in addition to Cougars perspective, because I'm a proud UH alum. But the list I've seen so far, I think most of them were head coaches, right? College head coaches. And I didn't see Chris Gent. You brought up Chris Gent. We talked a few days ago. I like that. I like the hire. And I've known Chris his time here in Houston. So I like it kind of outside the box as well. But he checks a lot of the boxes.
Yep.
And there's nothing wrong with hiring a qualified or, an experienced lead assistant coach or whatever, however you want to spin it. But I think he'd do a good job there. We'll see what happens. Today's game, let me put it up because Corey talked about it. The up in energy was visible today in the game against Purdue. And your thoughts on that statement from Corey? I saw the last 8 minutes or so of the game. So I saw they were ahead at halftime. I want to say I was watching South Florida, Florida Atlantic. And kudos to South Florida for winning and beating FAU. That was a fun game. I was like, we'll get to that in a minute too, because it's rare you see a team down 25 with 8 minutes to go, cut it to 3, like a minute to go. But your thoughts on Ohio State Purdue today?
Yeah, I agreed. The energy was up. I saw rotations and players play together that I hadn't seen all year. Shout out to Jake Diebler. He ran his show. He ran the program today. He ran his team. Austin Parks, for example, freshman center. Hadn't seen the court. I can't tell you the last time I saw Austin Parks play. Okay. He had a pivotal role today off the bench. Now, some would say, well, it was only because Felix Lapara was in foul trouble and Zach Key had foul trouble. Well, they've been in foul trouble all year long, but you hadn't seen Austin Parks. I know there's some things with the younger guys. Devin Royal, Mr. Basketball Ohio, here at Ohio State, played 3 minutes, I think against Illinois. And it's been, questions have been asked. And I don't know what went into that, if that was a part of the determining factor to have Chris Holtman leave now in 6. I still believe it was not wanting Ross Bjork to come in and do the job, but you saw a clean, crisp rotation of players today that you hadn't seen all year long. And it worked. I don't know that Purdue is ready for that. I mean, because Zach Edey did what he does. Yeah. I mean, he still got what he did, but and Jamison Battle, scoreless in the first half. He ended up with 18 in the second half. Those type things weren't happening. Just were not happening prior to today. And it's funny, a colleague said, if you told me you had a team that beat Alabama, had a team that beat UCLA, had a team that beat number 2 Purdue, and had a team that beat West Virginia, I wouldn't believe you when you told me that team fired their coach in February. Yeah. But this is the team that we have here at Ohio State. Yeah. So it's crazy.
Corey adds this, and for those who wonder, Corey's on this Buckeye slant. Well, he's got Buckeye ties too. So, it's all good.
Yep.
And Jamison Battle, he's the left-hander. He iced the game pretty much at the foul line. I like him. I like his game. Yep. I like lefties. Lefties it looks like they just have textbook shooting form. How you would, if you want to teach a player how to shoot, Watt's a left-handed shooter.
Yep.
I like his form on his shot. So it's good to see. Salute to them. I know fans will say, see, this is why UConn should have been the number 1 overall seed and all that kind of stuff, in the bracket preview, everything. It's the beauty of college basketball, men's and women's. It's one and done. Yeah. UConn might be playing the best ball right now. But today is February 18th. Yeah, they bombed. They bombed Marquette yesterday.
Yeah.
The biggest blowout margin, I think, of a top 5 matchup in NCAA history. Salute to them.
Yeah.
It's February. It's not March, not the Final Four. And I'm not throwing shade at UConn. They're a hell of a team. Got a great chance to repeat. But in the one and done format, all they got to do is have one off night or their opponent be on from 3-point range. And that's all that matters.
Speaking of UConn, going back to this coaching search, the other name on the list was Bobby Hurley. And the guy who replaced him at Buffalo back in the day, Nate Oates, now in Alabama. So that goes again. The list. Yeah, no one knows.
That's a strange. That's a wide-ranging list right there.
Right.
Okay.
No one knows. No one knows. Yeah.
All right, we're going to shift gears. I'm going to comment on Coach Sampson, what he said. I'm going to have a clip to his answer to my question about the change in start time for tomorrow's game to 8 o'clock Central, 9 p.m. Eastern from 6 p.m. Oh, Corey wants to know, what do you think about AG at Dayton?
I wouldn't mind that, but that's his alma mater. It'd be tough to get him to leave his alma mater, and he has that program back on track. So I would like it. Yeah,
and the more they win, the better Houston's win over them looks. So but back to it. ESPN, folks in charge, whoever, changed the start time for Houston, Iowa State, first place battle, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Folks who live in Houston realize that is just a huge, huge difference, because traffic. I went on a rant Thursday when it wasn't official, and I was told that it was possible that the start time was going to change to 8 o'clock. It is a massive deal, because I forgot who Houston played at 6 not too long ago, and Fertitta Center was less than packed, because it is hard. Brother Gibson, I tell you, man, to get to Houston downtown by 6 o'clock during the week and being in your seat, unless you live across the street from Fertitta Center or down the street, it's almost impossible.
Oh, I can imagine.
So to change to 8 o'clock was a big deal, and Coach Sampson acknowledged that. I'm going to post that after this show on the social media platforms, of course, on Houston Roundball Review on YouTube, etc. But I'm looking forward to tomorrow's game. 2 defensive teams going at it. Y'all know I love defense. Y'all know I hate all this high scoring 140, 135 NBA mess. Looking like all-star games before tonight's all-star game takes place. So I'm looking forward to Iowa State. Coach Sampson had high praise for Iowa State and the style of play. They played great defense. Taylor Lipsey, their point guard, their front court, they're too deep up front, all those things. But I'm shifting gears. Willy Gibson.
Yes, sir.
I'm just gonna play this clip. But I'm gonna say, Corey Miller, you watched this as well. Do you remember this and these words from Coach Ronald Hughey, Houston Cougars men's basketball coach, after the Cougs lost in the AAC title game to East Carolina 11 months ago? Listen to these words. Corey, you especially as well.
We got a bunch of emails from, other tournaments and things like that, but, it's time to set a standard for NCAAs around here. And that's the thing that we are get together as a team and talk about, and being able to make some headway that way. Again, the standard that we've set, again, finishing in the top 3 or 4, last 3 or 4 years, maybe even 5 years, and getting so close, and 20 wins and 18 wins and, Sweet 16s and WNITs and all that's just coming up short. again, we sit down together as a group and be able to make a decision with that, because again, their word is just as important as mine. It's been a long year, and we want to make sure that we are all on board if we're going to do anything moving forward. But the one thing I want to say about this group is, you know, the resilience is just tremendous. It's just tremendous. When you come to work every single day, when things not happening your way and you're getting those close losses and, you know, things like that, and they still came to work. We never got blown out this year, no matter who we played. And we played a top 15 schedule in the country. I had coaches calling me like, why y'all schedule so hard? We had a team that can be able to do that. Never got blown out. Never got blown out. And they came to work every single day. Every day. No matter if you ask them to play 10 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. 3 overtime games, 1 overtime, no matter. And the thing that we talked about in that locker room was bottling up this feeling. You know, this pain, this disappointment, this disbelief, and letting it fuel us for future steps. Every single day, starting with life itself. Because everything matters, and that's why we say it. We wanted to fight for 40 minutes like everything matters, and I can't say not 1 second that they didn't do that. And that's why you can hold your head up and put your chest up and put your shoulders back and walk around proud, because you know you did your job to the best of your ability. And that's the most thing I'm so happy about with this team and these two.
Your thoughts on those comments from Ronald Hughey, Mr. Gibson?
Couple things. Other coaches emailed him asking why his schedule was so hard, but I digress. That's interesting. But the main thing is the standard is the standard. The standard we've set here is the NCAA. I knew this is where we were going, but I didn't hear that the first time about other coaches emailing me about my schedule, but I digress. Yeah, but the standard is the standard. You know, we set the standard. We go to NCAA's here. Yeah, interesting.
And the standard it's not going to be met this year, Mr. Gibson, Corey. Anybody watching us on Facebook or FTS on Twitter or on YouTube? They're 4-10 in Big 12 play right now. 4-10.
So is it the standard? So is it the standard then? What are we talking about? That's part. Whose standard is? I mean, all right, okay.
See, that is where I'm going. Those are his words.
Right.
Okay, his words. How can I phrase this? I've heard, been told, informed, notified.
No, say
yeah, this too from Corey.
You're not about to say this.
Let's talk about not getting blown out.
Yeah, I know you're not about to say what I think.
He was hanging his hat on that too. We didn't get blown out last year.
Yeah.
Okay, last year they were 15-16 overall, 10-5 in the American. The American is not the Big 12. Okay, and the Big 12 is still down, but the American is not the Big 12. And again, Houston is currently 4-10 in the Big 12 this season. They got their first Big 12 road win yesterday over Oklahoma State. It's not impressive.
No, not
because Oklahoma State is about on the Cougs level as well. It wasn't like Houston beat Texas, okay, something like that, or K-State.
Mm-hmm.
But it was the first Big 12 road win. So naturally they're going to drum it up. You know, it's the first. Okay, salute. They're not going to the NCAA tournament this year. That'll be 10 years under Coach Hughey of no trips to the NCAA tournament, which is what? The standard.
Allegedly.
That's his words. The standard. His job is not safe. I'll say it like that.
Okay.
His job is not safe.
Okay.
But finances may be an issue.
He only has 1 year left on his deal, right?
Yes.
So what's the finances?
So it's being discussed how to go about it. Because he's not, and as far as I know, he's one of the, if not the lowest paid coach in the Big 12 women's basketball this season.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all relative to everybody else. So to Texas, what he's getting paid like $3.25 is nothing, dropping a bucket.
Sure.
But to pay him, his staff, to go this season and then hire a new staff, new coach, new staff, it's a question of, well, how much can we afford to pay the new staff and be competitive and supposedly to compete for championships, which was supposed to be the goal of, being in the Big 12. So all these things are being discussed. So I'm not saying he's definitely gone, because he might come back for an 11th season, which would really make me shake my head, because his own words. I played that clip on purpose because I referenced it Thursday during the lunch break. You've seen it because I sent it to you the day after, or the day of when he said it back in March last year.
Yep.
The standard is the NCAA tournament. Barring some miracle this season, some miraculous run next month in Kansas City, they're probably going to have to play on the first day of the tournament. That's the seeds 11 through 14. So the bottom four of the conference. Yeah. And win, I think, 5 games in a row to get to the NCAA tournament. That's not going to happen.
Can I go back to this finance piece?
Yes, go ahead, please.
So next year is the second year of Houston in the Big 12, right?
Yes.
And when does their full share kick in?
3rd year.
Okay. So, I don't know. And let me preface it by saying this. I never advocate for anybody losing their job. I don't.
Of course, because it goes back to what you said about Chris Holtman.
Yeah.
These are people. Yeah.
Yeah. Never advocate. However, this is a result-driven business.
Yes.
And if the results and the production doesn't match the expectation, and it's easy to spend somebody else's money, I know. But why can you not structure the new coach's deal that in year 1, it fits your financial blueprint, with an increase in year 2, which will be the year 3 of the Big 12 when you get your full complement of money? Why would that be a far-fetched idea? That's the standard. Jeez,
that's his record. That's his record, yeah.
Wow. That's unbelievable. I mean, so you delay it another year, you put the new coach behind the 8 ball another year. That's hustling backwards, as I've heard. I mean, they don't it's being discussed. So how long does these discussions have to go on before a consensus is made, a decision is made?
That is the great question. And I'm checking Corey. I'm not sure Corey's numbers are right. He might be a little bit off. So, because that's a little better than I thought. But it's under 500. That's a question of how many games under 500 he is.
In 10 years.
In 10 years. And it's, of course, 0 trips to the NCAA tournament.
Wow.
Which is the standard.
Standard.
What he said himself, the standard.
I've heard him say, I got to recruit better. I've heard him say a lot.
He said that after when they lost to Texas.
Right. But so then it's a couple things. I have to recruit better. So 1, what have you been doing this entire time? And then 2, what does that say to your current roster?
Yeah. This is more accurate right here. That's all right, Corey. No worry. You're our research guy during the show. That's okay. Yeah.
That's wow. Okay.
But
wow. And again, I'm not advocating for someone to lose their job. I'm saying, but 134 and 166. No trips to the standard.
Wow. H-Town. And Willie, I have more to add, but I'm going to say it to you off the air.
Okay. I don't know. Yeah.
Sorry, Corey. What I have to say, more to share, I can't say publicly. All right. But H-Town, and I guarantee will. The second part, boy, I don't know about that. I mean, the Cougs, heck, this week alone. Tomorrow, home against Iowa State is going to be tough. I expect it to be tough. I could be wrong. I was wrong yesterday about I thought the Horns keep it within 10. No, no. But next Saturday, or this coming Saturday, will be in Waco against Baylor.
Oh, yes. Scott Drew is another name. Sorry.
Yeah, that's
as you
Baylor.
say this name.
Yeah, stuff like that too. Baylor at home. They got a road game at Oklahoma. That's going to be tough. Coach Sampson going back to Sooner Nation. And then road game at UCF. That's two teams from the American matching up. Yes, the first game was not close at all. I think UCF didn't score 40 in that game here. But in Orlando, that's different. They're home court. So we'll see. But the Cougs win tomorrow over Iowa State and somehow win in Waco on Saturday. They'd have a big leg up on number 1 seed for the conference tournament next month in Kansas City. But first things first, as Coach Sampson said yesterday, quickly in his post-game press conference, I've already forgotten about this game. He said what? He said it this way. I don't give a shit what other coaches say. I'm telling you, I am focused on one thing. Iowa State.
Look at the contrast. Look at the contrast, what you just said.
Yes.
All right.
Which is my overriding point in the comparisons. They've both been at Houston 10 years. For folks who may not realize that, Coach Hughey and Coach Sampson have both been in charge for 10 seasons. Women's team, barring some miracle, will make it 10 straight seasons of no trips to the NCAA tournament.
Question. I just thought something.
Yes.
How many years has it been? Did the previous women's team or the coach?
It's been a disaster for a long time. The last time they made it to the tournament was 2010-11.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay,
so
13.
He inherited a mess.
Yeah.
And I want to say they had as few as 3 wins.
Wow.
Before he took over. It's a 3-win season. Then maybe a 6 wins, then 3 wins. It's horrible. It's awful basketball. Which Sampson record, I mean, another contrast right there. Final 4 trip, Elite 8 trips, Sweet 16 trips, number 1 seed in last year's regional, projected to be number 1 seed again this year. On and on. The comparisons, they're in the same building for practice in the Guy V. Lewis Development Center. One side, women's got their own court, their own practice court. Men, same thing, their own practice court. So I say this because I did a rant as well, not a rant, but part of Thursday as well. Mm-hmm. The only way I think people will care about women's basketball in the city of Houston and the administration is if Caitlin Clark type player comes to Houston, where they win and win with style, win big, it's a combination of a lot of things. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Where just the average fan starts paying attention to the women's basketball program. That's the only way I think people will care enough, because it's not just being in the Big 12 now. They had 1,600 fans at the game against Texas. And probably most of those fans were Texas fans.
Wow.
So, and Texas has one of the best players is from Pearland. Pearland is roughly 25 miles outside of Houston. Didn't even consider going to Houston. Okay. When he gave a list of the Longhorns All-Americans, not All-Americans, but their talented roster. Roy Harmon from Houston, top 10 point guard, top 10 player out of high school.
Wow.
They got top 10 player, top 25. Madison Booker, one of the top freshmen. She's top 20. Gaston from Pearland. She's top 25. You got top 10, top 20, top 25, top 50, top 50. Cougars have one top 100 player in the roster, Layla Blair. Just one. You're now in the Big 12, as you said.
I'll wait. I'll wait.
So, it's not personal. I'm not. Trust me, it is not personal. I'm beyond that. Maybe in my earlier days being media, I didn't know any better, and I took things personal. I'm beyond that. I'm just using folks taking them at their word.
Hmm?
The Houston administration said we expect to go into the Big 12 competing for championships. Coach Hughey himself said the standard is to get to the NCAA tournament. The three other newcomers in women's hoops, to the conference, Cincinnati, Coach Merriweather, first-year head coach at Cincinnati. Yep. BYU, second year at BYU. UCF, second year at UCF. But Ronald Hughey, 10th year at Houston. Okay, so what are y'all trying to do over there? What are y'all trying to accomplish? All right, anyway. Now we're going to get into a discussion that Brother Gibson and I disagree on.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. We don't agree with everything, but it's part of why we're friends and colleagues and all that, part of who we are and what makes FTS what it is.
Yep.
Was it Thursday?
Friday.
Friday when they announced it.
We talked Friday. I don't know when it was announced. Yeah. We talked Friday.
Talked about the Big 12 having their pro day. Be the first conference to have a conference-wide pro day. And it'll be in a few weeks at the Star in Frisco. Your thoughts on, just tell everybody what your thoughts on it.
Yeah, I to be frank, I think it's whack. I think, on a number of fronts. I would ask you the question we had talked about Friday. What's the purpose of a conference-wide pro day? Or, yeah.
And I was just going back because I remember the conference, Commissioner Yormark, he's in the entertainment business.
Not the sports.
He said that in my interview with Tyrell Kirkham. Mm-hmm. He said it, that they're in the Big 12 is in the entertainment business. So that's part of the rationale behind this. Mm-hmm. Being first, want to get the exposure on the NFL Network. I found the press release from last year, and a quote from Commissioner Yormark: "The first of its kind Big 12 Pro Day will provide our student assets," he said student athletes, but y'all know how I feel about that, "an opportunity to showcase their talent and skill as they turn their NFL dreams into reality. Through this partnership with the NFL, Big 12 student athletes will receive national media exposure across NFL Network and NFL media platforms. We are thrilled to partner with the NFL to host this Pro Day, and we look forward to creating a special experience for our student athletes," end quote. Now, Troy Vincent, the NFL Executive Vice President of Football Ops, added, "The Big 12 unified approach will provide world-class maximum exposure, mentorship, and development opportunities for potential future prospects, pulling on the vast resources of these Big 12 institutions. From state-of-the-art medical and talent evaluations to maximize media exposure and classroom professional development, these future leaders will experience a dignified, respectful, and comprehensive assessment," end quote.
I guess my point of view is this. I think it's meism, and we talk about this. Mm-hmm. I think it's meism from the perspective of the purpose of the pro day is, again, to allow the media exposure on the NFL Network. If the scout comes to Waco, Texas to see you work out, that's the purpose of the pro day, is to get in front of the scout. The fact that it's on NFL Network, me watching it in Columbus, Ohio, is not helping that young man get to the league. I think it's more so, again, you call them, we talk about something, we call them student assets. I think it's more so the conference profiting off the backs of the student assets, because it's not about marketing the conference at that point. It's about giving that young man an opportunity to be featured in front of the scouts, which they're going to do in Waco, Texas, on Baylor's campus, which they're going to do in Austin, Texas, on Texas's campus, which they're going to do in Houston, Texas, on Houston's campus, Ames, Iowa, Manhattan, Kansas, Orlando, Florida, wherever. So the fact that it's the Big 12 Conference Pro Day is meism to me. And it's another opportunity and another situation where the conference is profiting off the backs of the student assets.
What do you think, Justin? What do you think, Corey? Y'all watching us on YouTube, and the dates are, it'll take place March 27th through March 31st in Frisco, Texas, at the Star. I'm kind of curious to see how, because really for me, that's basketball tournament time, so I'm going to watch it at all. But I want to see how it's run.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just kind of curious at that. It's football, and hopefully AD will spend some time, following it. He might even want to stop by and cover it if he can for a few days to see how it looks.
Right.
But it is. I mean, it's a Big 12 thing. Go ahead. And
then I guess also, are the individual schools no longer having?
That's what I don't know. Yeah, that's what I don't know. I'm curious about that myself. I want to find out.
And if they are, what's the point of athlete B going to the store if I've already worked out on my campus? The scouts have seen me. Yes, it's another opportunity to be seen by the scouts, but I just don't. It's so many. I just don't. Does it? Yeah. It's just interesting to me. It's interesting.
So I'm gonna put out an email to UH, and when hopefully I get an answer, I'll let you know. May not be this evening, but tomorrow. Hopefully, let's know. I'm kind of curious myself if there'll still be individual school pro days. But Justin and Mobeezy, going a whole other tangent. Did you see or hear did you see the clip or hear about the clip with CJ Stroud walking Amber Rose to our car?
Yeah, and I heard the explanation. Yeah.
And her quick response was he was just being a gentleman. What would she say? The sprinter she was with left her.
Oh, his mom said some things too. His moms don't play that. Yeah. She was like, nah.
But
yeah.
I'll leave it alone because I don't want to talk about her or make it seem like I'm talking about her because I'm not, because she's still an attractive woman. I'm not blind. I got 4 eyes. I can see all that. But CJ and Tank Dell were at the Cougars Longhorns game yesterday. And so there was no questions about that. We didn't speak to him, but Akeem was there yesterday. Man, it was like old home week for UH alums. Football, track, basketball. Yeah. So it was good to see. And this is your thoughts on this.
Yeah.
Because I think someone mentioned it to me. Marcus Sasser, Jarris Walker. I'm not sure Quentin was there. Quentin Grimes. But the 3 Cougars who are in the NBA, and they hinted as well.
Mm-hmm.
Willie, this is All-Star Weekend.
Yep.
They chose to come to the Coug Longhorn game rather than be in Indianapolis.
Yep. Same. Malachi Brandon was at the Ohio State game today.
So that says a lot to me about how the young men feel about their programs.
Yeah.
Their alma maters, to me.
Yep. Same. And I found that interesting as well. They honored Malachi Brandon at one of the early timeouts. And I'm like, oh, he's here. And they also honored the 1999 Final Four team, Scooney Penn, Michael Redd, that team that went to the Final Four. But yeah, to your point, current NBA players didn't go to Indianapolis, but went home.
Yeah.
It didn't go to Cabo. They didn't go to Cabo. And maybe, I don't know, they've been off since Wednesday. Maybe they went to Cabo until Saturday and came in or went to Cabo, in your case, Friday and came home Saturday. I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know what they did prior, but they were
but
at
they were in
UH
the building
yesterday.
today.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
that does say a lot.
Yeah, Justin says this was I'm really not paying any attention to the NBA All-Star Week at all, any of the events. I'm just washing my mind of it.
Yeah.
But Justin says CJ was at the All-Star events on Friday.
Yeah, he played in the Celebrity All-Star game.
And so he hopped on the jet and came to UH and sat in the first row. And who was it? I think Andy told me this. Andy Yanez mentioned this to me, that there were so many celebs there. Akeem sat in the second row, which I never do to dream, because he is one of the icons of Houston Cougars men's basketball.
Sure.
But he sat in the second row behind CJ and Tank Dell and some other of the younger.
Wow.
Celebs. I'm like,
that's
okay.
That's borderline disrespectful.
To me, it is. For my generation, it is. But yeah. Whatever. But hey, anything to talk about. Hey, but I'm just glad Nate Hinton is a Rocket. I talked to Nate on Monday, so good to see him. And the other former Cougars, Kyler Edwards and Coach Sampson touched on this in post game. Kyler Edwards was a Cougar for a year, one season. But Coach Sampson said he will be a Cougar for life.
Nice.
That is, Willie, I think you got a sense of it in talking with me and Justin, Mo Beasley, Corey, who followed me on this platform. Y'all don't realize. I think you get a hint of it. The job Coach Sampson and his staff have done to connect and reconnect with the alums, and all the alums from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s to now, because it was lost that previous people in charge burned some bridges and turned off a whole lot of alums who refused. It wasn't just the basketball was poor and we weren't winning games. They would not set foot on campus, let alone inside the building to watch their team play. So Coach Sampson has done just a commendable job on the court, but also off the court, to bring everyone back to the program. So it's just another example of the job he's done nationally, making the Cougars relevant. So to that part of me, I'm taking off my media credential and just being a proud alum of what the job he's done. Because I tell you, man, some of the stuff I'm not going to say it publicly, but man, the way some of the older alums were mistreated, y'all would just shake your heads and say, "Kris, you lying." And trust me, y'all would just, "Come on, Kris." Nope. Y'all would just shake your head and like, "Really?" Yes, truly, how they used to do some of these alums. It's just so awful how they diss them, basically. But that's a whole 180. Now there's a whole generation. This is a golden era in men's basketball. And the only thing left for Coach Sampson to do is win that national championship. It's hard to do because, like I said, it's not a series. Got to be hot or be good for 6 games and hope your opponent is not hot for the game you play them in.
Right.
But I want to touch base with everybody. We're back. FTS is back. If y'all want to watch the All-Star game, the glorified scrimmage, feel free. But, you follow the Cavs, cover the Cavs.
Yep.
Do you maintain that Donovan Mitchell will be a Cav next season?
I do. I've heard and I've seen, but yes, I do. Yes, I do.
I mean, I had a fan on Let's Talk Houston Rockets. How about Donovan as a Rocket? And I was like, Willie said he's not going anywhere. So
no, because the Lakers have access to 3 first-round picks next year, and Cavs traded 3 to Utah, and it matches up, but I don't believe so. I mean, they're second in the East. He's clearly an MVP candidate, averaging 28 a night. 2-time All-Star. Spiders going to New York. No, I think they're good. I think they're good now with what they have. But yeah, it's no. I still believe he'll be in Cleveland. Player option for next year. I think they'll get a deal done over the summer. And we'll just go from there.
All right, brother. Fair enough. Thank you for waiting on me and practice the end to join me here on FTS this evening. We're going to try to get back to the regular schedule. So everybody, just if you haven't already, subscribe to the Houston Roundball Review on YouTube. Click on that bell to be notified of when FTS shows will go live. Tell your friends about this show. Tell your friends about Let's Rage Cougs. We'll have another post-game show Monday night after the Cougs Iowa State game. Going to be a late one because the game starts at 8 now, 9 Eastern, because it was changed from 6/7 Eastern to 8 o'clock. So we won't be starting post-game to like 10:15, 10:30. So get your favorite adult beverage and join us for a late night edition of Let's Rage Cougs with me, Andy, and Dayon. Brother Gibson, I'm going to give you the platform.
Thank you, brother.
Let me make sure I do everything correctly here. You got it, my man.
Appreciate you as always, my brother. Thank you for the opportunity. You can reach out to me as the crawl is stating on Twitter at Willy Gibson 7, IG and Threads Will Knows Sports, and Facebook is Will Knows. But looking forward to. I am going to watch a little bit of the All-Star game until it gets to be like 119, 112 in the second quarter, and I'll probably shut it down. But thank you, as always, for the opportunity, KG.
No problem, my man. And I am KG, Kris Gardner of the Houston Roundball Review. Put that up. Y'all know how I am. You see it on the screen there. Houston Roundball Review on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Spoutable, etc. Thank you, everybody, for taking time out of your Sunday evening to join us on this edition of Folks Talking Sports. Come again. Don't be a stranger. H-Town Big Dob says, go Cougs. Join us Monday if you are a Coug fan. Heck, if you are an Iowa State fan, join us tomorrow as we recap what I hope will be a competitive, hard-fought, I don't even care if it's well-played, hard-fought, competitive game that the refs allow the teams to play and don't call it too tight. But Justice said we could have gone another 30 minutes.
Sure.
I just, I'm done with the All-Star stuff. I'm working on my upload of Coach Sampson's comments to answer to my questions. I'm going to do that and then pretty much chill for the evening. But Brother Gibson, stand by your phone. Got something to add for you to make you shake your head. But
all right, what's up?
To everybody, thank you as always for watching this edition of Folks Talking Sports. Thank you for your support of the Houston Roundball Review. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Spread the word about the show, the platform, the info, the insight we provide here as a media group. And always remember, since 1994, let me give y'all some love. I don't believe Brother Gibson will mind this. Let me give y'all some love here. Get the clapping going for everybody for the comments. Now, since 1994, a Houston Roundball Review, local name, global perspective. Y'all take care. Peace.